Hello, this is Tom, aka Gedeon, here for Tabletop Tap Room. Today, we are discussing the AI wars and artists strike back. Just invented that title earlier today, and I thought, yeah, we're going with that. The artists strike back, and who knows? We might have Return of the AI coming next. Who knows? But for now, we are doing artists strike back in the AI wars. But before we get to that, let me just say thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. Help me build the channel. Greatly appreciated. And so 2 pieces of news have popped. We'll look at each headline. One is a scientific study that demonstrates conclusively over like a 4 or 5 month period that Chat GPT, GTP, whatever the initials are.
GTP.
GTP?
Yep.
Okay. Whatever the initials are is getting dumber. And so, that was interesting. I thought the AI revolution was here and AI is going to save us all. Not if it's getting dumber, but we'll look at that. And then I actually wasn't not going to do a video on AI, just on that. But then this other thing popped, and it's about artists sabotaging AI with their artwork. And I thought, now that's intriguing, because I've taken a stand as the editor of the Star Frontiersman Volume 2. I've taken a stand on AI in support of artists over the AI. So this is kind of something I'm interested in. But before we get too deep, I do want to squeeze in a quick 90-second word from my sponsor, Wizard Tower Games. What happens to an adventure run at conventions? Many times they are lost and fade from memory, but sometimes they are rediscovered. Presenting the Lost Adventures of Gary Con 1 and 2 from the vaults of Tim Kask, brought to you by Wizard Tower Games. Inside, you will find the Tower of the Mad Wizard and Return to the Frozen North in their original form, as well as in 1st and 5th edition formats, bound as a quality hardcover book with full-color heavyweight pages. All copies are signed by Tim Kask and accompanied by a certificate of authenticity and sealed with a security hologram bearing the edition number. Other features include removable fold-out maps, 16 unique monsters never before seen or published, unique pre-generated player characters, and a 4-page comic spread of Marvin the Mage by Jim Wampler, first debuted at Gary Con 4. You will be getting far more than a simple book. With only 300 copies, the Lost Adventures of Gary Con 1 and 2 are selling out fast. Grab them before other adventures plunder the dungeon ahead of you. Of special note, proceeds are being donated to the 9/11 Never Forget Fund and to cover medical expenses for Rachel Steen, a brave woman who dedicated her life in New York City to helping those with substance abuse issues. Rachel was recently diagnosed with breast cancer. And we've now had reports coming concerning Rachel that the test results came back. There was no malignancy. So we're very, very happy. We're also very pleased with Dawn Smore, Wizard Tower Games, deciding to donate proceeds to the 9/11 Never Forget Fund and to defray the cost of Rachel's medical expenses. So thank you, Dawn. And, in the means of full disclosure, I already actually had one of these books on order with Dawn. And so I am, I believe in the product. And so I am a customer of Wizard Tower Games as well. But moving right along. So the first item of news was this from Fortune magazine. Hit the webs, and I shared it on Facebook, and I was like, oh, wow, look at this. ChatGTP is getting dumber. To which I said, those of you out there, and you know who you are, and we know who you are. who are using ChatGPT to write your products that you're trying to sell, don't hold your breath for your Pulitzer because the AI is getting dumber. So what happened with this is that they had these tests to see if the AI could do a basic math problem, if it could follow a sequence. And their conclusion is that over a 4 or 5 month period, it was just going down. Now, the basic math problem was, it was presented a number, I think the number, it's here in the article, it's 17, I think it's 17,077, and it was asked, is this a prime number? Now, a prime number, all a prime number is a number that can be divided by itself or 1. So like 4 can be divided by 4, can be divided by 1, but it could also be divided by 2. No even number is a prime number. So it's basically, it's just certain numbers, but like 13 is a prime number, and 17 is a prime number, but 27 is not. It can be divided by 3 and 9 as well. So I would have looked at this and I would have hazarded a guess. I would have, because honestly, it's a yes or no. It's yes or no. So flip a coin. I got a 50% chance just on a guess, because like the highest prime numbers I know are, I could rattle them off pretty much up to 17. After that, I really got to start thinking. But so 17,077, I would hazard a guess based on the 7 and roll the dice and say, yeah, it is. That's what I would do. But ChatGPT has been guessing, and 98% of the time it's wrong lately. So it's down to only 2% right. So it's not even like it's flipping a coin on its guess. It's something has just skewered its training data that it's working from, and it's just kind of gone cuckoo or off the rails, whatever it is. They're not sure what is doing this, but it's having problems following things in a sequence and so on and so forth. So I don't know what's going on with that, but related to that, so this is something they're going to be studying, and you want to watch for more stories along this lines about why are AIs struggling, so on. Maybe they're afraid of the responsibility of saving us all from ourselves. I don't know. But the next story was, and I love this headline, artists can fight back against AI by killing art generators from inside. Now, what's happening here with this story is that artists suffered a raid. See, like a bunch of bad people came in and raided and took everything, all the wheat that the artists had, and they took it, and the artists complained, and then the authorities of the town where all those raiders lived said, oh, well, we'll give you an opt-out option, which is kind of a big middle finger to the artist, because once their work, their copyrighted, their IP work, the work that they have done is in the training data, the damage is done. The opt-out, so the opt-out, oh, we'll give you guys an opt-out. It was a middle finger to the artist. So some artists sued. Getty Images sued. But what I've learned about court cases is that the wheels of justice can grind real slow. As a reporter and observer on the new TSR debacle, fiasco, meltdown, total thing, is that the wheels of justice can grind real slow. And so it was very frustrating watching it, because you just kind of wanted it to be over at a certain point, but it's dragging out. And even now, it looks like the WotC lawyers are, we'll let this play out and we'll see what happens with these court cases, and then we can finish ours. So it's very, very slow, except maybe bankruptcy moves fast, because that one has moved fast in the TSR case. but everything else moves slow. So the artists who are suing Getty Images, they're suing. I anticipate these things are going to go slow. You really want it to go fast. Well, apparently somebody was not willing to wait, and they wrote code and they created something called Nightshade. Nightshade in the real world is a poison. They have named it Nightshade because they've written this program to poison AI training data. And the way it works is that I guess I've not downloaded it myself yet. I've sent this link to 3 of my artist friends, and it's on my to-do list to download Nightshade and play with it and see what it does and see how it works, and read the about information in there, whatever information they give you, and use it to maybe protect some of the artwork that I create as well going forward. Anything I've created previous, I assume, is already in the training data, already been scoured from the internet. So there's no point in trying to protect that. But anything new I create, I'll begin to use Nightshade, and I'll just leave it out there on the web for them to scour and poison the AI with. But so this Nightshade, what it does is it adjusts the pixels of your picture, but not in a way that the human eye can see, but in a way that the AI will see. And apparently it really corrupts the output that the AI tries to do, working from these nightshaded, these poison pill pictures that are done with this. So, apparently some artist out there knew enough about pixels, knew enough about code, and just said, we can do this. And what this really constitutes is shots fired. This is an opening skirmish. Now, I have a prediction on how this is going to go, because all of the early proponents for AI were like, AI is here to save us. Oh. So, yeah. I think it's going to go the way warfare has gone throughout history, where you have people coming to kill you and take your stuff. So you figure out some new defensive measure, like, say, a wall. And that makes it harder for these guys to get in because you've built a wall, and it makes it a little easier for you to kill them. So because you shoot down on them from above. So then those guys go away and they figure out some way to trump your new technology that you brought to bear. And then you're like, oh, geez, we're going to get killed here. So then you figure out some way to trump that technology. And it just becomes an arms race. And next thing you know, you have the atomic bomb. So AI was a new technology. It's rating and abusing artists. And yes, I really believe that. And I know some of you disagree with me on that, but the telling point for me is that AI art goes, we don't have to honor copyright. We don't have, and they try to explain it away. But when they're doing AI music, they're scrupulous to exclude anything copyrighted because they know they will be sued, because the music industry has demonstrated its willingness to be litigious. Can anybody say file sharing? Right? So they're afraid of the music industry, but they're not afraid of artists. Why? Because artists are what's cliche? Starving artists. And look, the artist does that work. He expects to benefit from it. If I go out and build a house on land out back here, and then I sell that house, I expect to benefit from that. But if an artist builds a picture with a house in it and he has it on the web, it gets taken from him and he gets no recovery for it. And, and I know they're saying, oh, well, you don't understand. Look, no. If they're doing it one way with AI music, they should be doing it the other way with art. And they're not, because they think they can get away with it. So it's abuse. It's abuse of the system. It's abuse of artists. And this Nightshade clearly is shots fired. It is the artist strike back. And I think the next round will be Return of the AI. Sure. And then, we'll get into the really, we'll get into the prequel trilogies and so on and so forth with the Star Wars references. But uh, it's abuse. And this is shots fired. So I predict all this is that this is not, Nightshade's not the be all and end all, because somebody else will figure out technology to undo what it does, and then somebody else will figure out technology to go the other way. It'll be an arms race, and that's what I think is about to happen. And so I don't think I will be. This will be my last AI video. I think there will be more. So I've taken a stand against AI art, and there's a lot of it starting to turn up in drive-through, which makes it hard for me with the channel. Now, the stand I took was as the editor of the Star Frontiersman magazine, but I kind of feel like, oh, if I knowingly review a product that has AI art, that kind of looks a little hypocritical. So I've been avoiding it so far. Like, I've looked at products and been like, oh, this is a really interesting product. I'm reading the thing, but then I start looking closer at the art, or I'm reading the credits in it and it says, art by Midjourney. And then I'm like, all right, let's go find something else. Let's go find somebody who's worked their tail off to produce something and not taking a shortcut. And we'll promote them by doing a review on them. So that's what I've been doing. And it's getting a little harder. I don't know what's going to happen here in the future. Am I going to have to break down and go ahead and drop a pay what you want dollar on a product, or something nominally priced at $1 or $2 and go ahead so I can review it? I don't know. I really don't want to, at least until there is legislation, when our politicians get off their fat overpaid rear ends and pass some legislation, hopefully in favor of the artist, or there is a court case precedent. Don't know where the Getty Images lawsuit is at right now, but I've now heard that there's been more lawsuits filed. So when there's finally a court case precedent, and we know the wheels of justice just grind slow, unless it's bankruptcy, which seems to be a whole different animal, then at some point. But for now, it's the artists got raided. Their farms were raided, all their wheat taken, and they complained, but they kind of got a middle finger. And rather than wait, they went out and bought some flintlock rifles. And that's what I'm equating Nightshade to. It's flintlock. And so they're the artists are taking up arms, and they're playing the role of Minutemen, which were largely, they did line up Lexington Green and face off and shoot, but for the most part, they did a lot of guerrilla warfare tactics in the woods, sniping, picking off officers. And so that's kind of what's going on now. It's not a super organized effort yet, but I think it's hold on, Brave New World. This thing's going to get uglier and messier before it's done, because now that you've got one written, and in the article, it seems like there are other programs, maybe not quite so good as Nightshade, but the same idea, that have been developed. But it seems like Nightshade seems to be the one that's going to be put it to the AI. The war is on. The war is here. AI is not here to save us yet. We're not going out on Saturday passing out tracts. Let me tell you about my Lord and Savior, the AI, yet. AI, in some cases, has gotten dumber. But now you have people actively trying to poison AI because of the bad practices, the disingenuous practices that are going on with them taking copyrighted material they should not be taking and using it without the permission of the artist. I would be totally fine with AI art if the training data had a thing where they went to an artist and said, we would like to pay you so much money to license your art and have it make our AI better because we really like your art. I'd be okay with that, but that's not what's going on. That is not what's going on. And an artist deserves to receive a benefit from the work that he does. Full stop. Okay. And some artists get paid more than others. And that's okay too, because you're actually paying for their experience. You're actually paying for their talent. I worked with a master plumber. He got paid well. He got paid well. And he got paid well because he had 30 years experience. And I remember being on a job saying, "Hey, Ed, what is this thing over here? This weird thing. I think it's water pipe. I'm not sure. It's weird." Is, "Oh, geez, that's an old one. That's brass pipe. That goes back to before copper." I mean, he just looks at stuff and knows what's going on. He maps a whole job in his head, standing there drinking coffee for 30 minutes. So you got to pay for that experience. That's why certain people get paid more. And an artist deserves to get paid, but often is not. People like, "You made that picture in 15 minutes. I shouldn't have to pay that much money." Yeah, you should. That's their picture. That's their work. You know what's funny? I took a stand this summer about AI. And I remember for years, way back working with Larry Moore on the Star Frontiersman, as helping him out, begging people for art, scrounging to get art, even us recycling some art. And, so that was that. And then I helped found the Frontier Explorer with Tom Stevens, and I functioned as like the art editor. So I was always scrounging to find a cover, scrounging for art, begging sometimes, going to DeviantArt artists and saying, "Hey, we really like your stuff. Would we be able to use this particular picture for the cover of the magazine? We can't pay any money for it, but we could certainly do a nice shout out and point our readership at your online gallery." Some people said yes. Some people said no. Some people were real, like, even nasty that I asked. And then there was a couple professional artists that I went ahead and asked, and they said yes. And it was really cool. And I remember the first time I got a professional artist. I mean, this woman has art on the cover of Star Trek novels. I was like, as an old Star Trek fan, I was like, that's cool. And they very graciously say, "Oh yeah, sure, absolutely," and hooked us up. So I remember begging, but I took a stand this summer and I got more art. I'm inundated with art. The issue coming out for November 1st, issue 29 of the Star Frontiersman, got over 60 pieces of art going into that particular issue. Now, admittedly, some of it was done by me. Admittedly, I got Aaron who's been a regular artist for us, to come on board and be on staff, and he's been doing a lot of writing. And of course, when somebody's doing writing, it's their imagination. It's all up in their head. Well, he ends up with images in his head. He's got to get on paper, so he turns in an article with 6 pieces of art. So, I mean, it's good to have an artist on staff. I love that. So admittedly, Aaron and I are probably doing a lot, but I can't even explain how this has happened, but we're inundated with art, which is a good problem to have in a fan magazine. And all I can say, it's almost like the universe took notice and said, "Oh, they're taking a stand. Let's take care of that guy. Let's take care of that enterprise, that fan magazine." We're loaded up with art, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a good place to be. And I've got artists contacting me and say, "Hey, what do you need? What do you need?" So absolutely, you do the right thing and you don't take shortcuts, and good stuff happens. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So this is Tom for Tabletop Tap Room. Shots fired in the AI wars. Artists have struck back, and I think it's only round one. It's the opening skirmish. And I think more is to come, and it'll be an arms race. New technology on each side trumping what the other side did. And I think that's where we're going. So not so fast on Brave New World, AI revolution. You got some ways to go. This is Tom for Tabletop Tap Room. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. And please do hit the like, subscribe, bell icon, and keep on gaming. And, keep on doing art. Just maybe not so much with AI art, but If you got to have an artist do something, have an artist do something. Have a real artist do something.